Grace, how are you? I've just seen your message. Good to see you. Good afternoon for me and good morning for you. Good to see you. Good to see you. Good to see you. Hope you're fine. I hope the rest can come in on time. Let me be having a look at your work as you can like actually the page. Let me have a look at your work. You can like the page as we wait for others to join us. Okay. Replace the from old plain, but at least the feeling is relapse from old. The feeling is much better now. Okay. Inability to execute due to some factors or to put what I learned to practice slowly kills the desire in the long run. Delayed decision making. Okay. Okay, looking at other people's. Okay. Do you want me to copy and paste this here or you want to maintain it private? What would you prefer? Okay, no problem. So, if I remember very well, the assignment last week, I asked you, hello, Kezi, how are you? Good to see you. Good to see you. Good to see you. Good to see you. Where is your assignment? I'm trying to see where the assignment was. I'm trying to see the question assignment that I gave you. Okay, it's here. Identify one recurring pattern. So let me first put this here, and then I can put what you've sent to me. Okay. Um, Good to see you. Good to see you. Good to see you. Can you send messages to your colleagues so that they can join? Uh, I left you with an assignment, so I just want to post. Hi, Juliet. Hi, Juliet. How are you? Good to see you. Okay. I left you guys with an assignment. I asked you to name one recurring pattern, one distraction, one weakness, one door that needs to be closed. And Grace has shared hers. Okay, so I'll just paste it here so that we have to first do a recap of what we did, of the assignments last week. Okay. Okay. Oh, it exceeds. Let me first delete. Let's put. Those are the first three answers you gave. Okay. Hello, Sim. How are you? Good to see you. Good to see you. Good to see you. Good to see you. So, Grace, that was you. Those were your answers based on what you reported from the assignment that I gave you. Sim, did you carry out the exercise? And those were your last two. I'm just copying and pasting Grace's work. Okay. So, if we're to follow up, before I even begin, for those who are new on this channel, my name is Jacinta. This is Build Beyond You. You are very welcome. On this channel, we focus on rediscovering identities, nurturing our innate abilities, overcoming obstacles that hinder us from flourishing in our true identities. In the event that we step into our true leadership authority for impact, continuity, sustainability, growth, preservation of what we have been assigned, our responsibilities, if it's generational impact, if it's a vision, if there are ideas. Basically, it's generational continuity. That's what we are looking at, and sustainability of our human blueprints, the models that we are developing based on who we are the identities that we've rediscovered. What are we called to do? What are our assignments? What is the mandate? Okay, so we have been going on with the empty vessel series, and today is lesson 9. As you can see, sent 2 by 2. And from today, we're going to be having this screen share. Have, I'll, I'll, I'll be sharing with you so that we can follow through and not be bored. And last week, I left you with an assignment. I asked you to name one recurring pattern, one distraction, one weakness, and one door that needs to close. Okay. So Grace, I was posting her answers that she WhatsApped me. I don't know if you meant relapse with that particular one, the first word on one, from old pain. Oh, that's a recurring pattern. Or relapse. Okay, relapse from old pain. But now you're feeling much better now. Okay, that's a recurring pattern. Relapsing from old pain, but you're feeling much better now. Okay, that's good. And is this, I hope this is a distraction, one distraction, inability to execute due to some factors, or to put what you learn to practice slowly kills the desire in the long run. Okay, so that's very clear that it's a distraction which requires your intentionality, intentional decision making, intentional follow up, like a discipline. You have to just put it there, whether you do it early morning, whether you do it at the end of the day. Ideally, it would be nice if it's at the end of the day, because then you would be able to look at what have I been doing during the day and how did I implement. You may have implemented what you're studying, but you may not, because you're not journaling and you're not very intentional about paying attention to, like, let's say at the end of the day, you look at your day. What exactly did I implement from the things that I learned daily in class? If you do that, your mind will now tune to applying. When you learn, you start applying without even realizing it, and before you know it, it will start becoming part of you, which will really have a very huge transformation on your life. And then you also said delayed decision making or overthinking before making a decision is a weakness. Okay, because I asked you for also one weakness. Okay, now that you are aware that delayed decision making, you have to be very intentional and you give it time before you make the decision, but make sure that you do make the decision. It's nice to acknowledge what those areas are, the recurring patterns, the distraction, the weaknesses, and the doors that need to close. It is for your own good that you follow up with yourself, and it's good that you've given this accountability. And looking at other people's say opinion is a door I need to close immediately, and I think I'm doing better now. Okay, that's a very, very good thing for you not to every time you look at other people's opinion about you, about the decisions that you're making, about your life, about the choices that you make. Sometimes those opinions are not really necessary for your growth, and sometimes you just need to shut down what doesn't add value to you. There's what they call constructive advice or positive advice, that when someone actually gives you the bitter truth, but with the intention, what is the, you will sense the motive, yeah? You need to know what is the motive behind the person. Is the person coming here to discourage me so that I do not go on? Or is the person giving me positive feedback? That's very important, okay? So Juliet says her weakness is mismanaging money, financial problems, and career stress. Okay, so now that you are aware of mismanaging money, you must be putting in place step by step what exactly are you going to do about it, because it's important for you not to just acknowledge the mismanagement of finances, but also put in place disciplines. What do you need to do? Like I said the last time, I gave you a very serious I think it's the Jews that actually use it. You have to apportion your money in percentages and say, I'm going to be strict and disciplined and do this, even if an area of that I have been financially supplying money to is affected. If it's affected, let it be affected. But if you start implementing without um, compromise and thinking about the fact that you are now building a new fresh season for your life, you are evolving in this area of finances. At the end of the day, you'll realize that if you had not started with a step, however hard it was, you would not be where you are. You will see yourself a totally different person. Sometimes it requires very hard decisions to implement hard truths or hard disciplines. So that will require you. No one is going to push you. That one is really you. Okay? You're too kind when it comes to helping others. Yeah, and niceness will not add any value to you. That one I can tell you. The moment you are completely empty and down, you will not see even one face. So you have to first take care of the areas that you need to take care of. Okay, you take care of the business, you take care of the land, you take care of your savings, and then you think about charity after. Because if you start thinking about charity when you don't even have any surplus, then there's a lot of mismanagement of funds. I think we've all made these mistakes, but now we are correcting. When you have surplus, that is when you start thinking about giving, and you also need to be led who to give. Remember, not everybody deserves to be given. Not You're not called to everybody, because I clearly told you the last time about this thing of giving. For example, if you give someone who is entitled, they're going to bring instability in your finances. It's just like a reciprocal kind of like movement going on. Yeah, it's just returns back in instability. It's like it just backfires on you. You understand? So you like giving a gambler. You are enabling a vice. So it's going to have a negative effect on you. So all these things we learn with time. So just watch who you give, and make sure that you are led, and make sure you apportion in percentages what you are actually receiving, and how exactly you need to expense your monies. Okay, you're giving out debts because you don't want to lose customers. That's a credit policy that you have to introduce in your workplace. If it works for you, well and good. But if it doesn't, that one, honestly speaking, I can't say much. That one is a personal decision that you have to make. Hi, Brenda. Good to see you guys. Good to see you, Juliet. Good to see you, Sim, Grace, Kezzy. You're all very welcome. Kezzy, where is your second half? Mia. I'm not seeing her here. Hmm? Where is Mia? Brenda, did you carry out the assignment? I had left you last week with an assignment, and I asked you to identify one recurring pattern, one distraction, one weakness, and one door that needs to close. Or did you actually give yours during the? I remember as if you gave yours even before we left that for the weekend. I remember as if you gave yours. Kind of like, I think I'm not wrong, right? I think you gave yours. Okay, so I think now we are good to go. Now that we've had a recap of last week, and we know exactly where we need to correct, what we need to do. Now today we're going to look at lesson 9. Lesson 9 is talking about sent 2 by 2. Why this transformation requires accountability, participation, and legacy. As you can see the picture very clearly, that there's legacy going on there. You're not going to build these things in isolation, and you're not going to do these things alone. Otherwise, how do you ensure continuity of what you're doing? You're not doing things so that you can just leave this world and they fade away. No, we want to ensure continuity and generational legacy and impact. And that requires participation right from the start. Not right now while you transform, okay? If you have an ability to have participation in the transformation process, that's a plus for you. But if not, it's okay. It can also start after the transformation process. But the reason as to why that participation is required is because when people participate, especially the ones that are assigned to you, your succession plan, When they participate in what you are doing, they actually get to know the how this came about, the pain that was behind it, and they will value the outcome. But every time people just inherit without participation, without knowledge, they where they their perception of the value of the inheritance may not be as with the level of concern that you had, especially when you received the vision and started doing something about it. So it's very important for participation, accountability. But those are things you need to pray about. Okay? And we are referring to verse 5 where so she went from him, that is Elisha, and shut the door upon her and upon her sons, who brought the vessels to her and she poured out. Now we're going to be focusing on who brought the vessels to her. And that is where the accountability part is, the participation part is, and legacy, which is sent two by two. You see, she was alone in the beginning, but she's not shutting the door by herself. She's shutting the door with her sons. And that the fact that she's shutting the door with her sons is very crucial because at the end of the day, she'll be able to account. Yeah, she'll be able to account for what she is doing and whether she has actually taught well, whether they participated, do they understand where all this is coming from, how it started, and what is required of them, even as it evolves in their hands. Do they also do the same, pass it on as well, or make sure that they add on to that and not subtract from it? That is what is important. Okay? That is extremely important. So, anybody wants clarity from this point? Is there anyone who has not understood from this point before we go on? Okay. Now that you understand, I want you to understand that destiny is never built in isolation. Destiny is never built in isolation. That's why it says, her sons brought the vessels to her. You're going to get a clear description as I go on, okay? Why the transformation requires accountability, participation, and legacy. The more explanation is going to come in the description. So don't forget, we're in the empty vessel series, okay? And today is lesson 9. Today, when we talk about sent two by two, yeah, we want to understand that whatever you're doing right now, you cannot do it in isolation, okay? After this widow shut this door, like last week we talked about shut that door and form privately. Now, when she shut that door to start forming privately, she did not shut that door alone. She shut it with her sons. And what was the role of the sons? And what was her role? When it says her sons brought the vessels to her, there are two roles here. They brought the vessels, they kept collecting and bringing the vessels, and she kept pouring oil. Are you seeing the difference? She's the leader, and they are bringing the vessels for her to fill. She is the leader because there has to be a leader. Now that is clear role distribution. You see, when we are working on our businesses or personal identity refinement and all, we tend to think that this is my thing. But remember, you're not doing it for just you. Whatever it is that you're building within you is for the people outside. So the people that you work with need to understand the vision. Because even the book says, write the vision down, make it plain on paper, that the people who read it understand it. So the understanding part is you breaking it down in this way. You do your this part, do your part, do your part, and I do my part. So you clearly see they were bringing vessels to her while she poured the oil. And you see that this clearly reveals the importance of divine partnerships, accountability, participation, and legacy formation. That is the reason as to why, please, please, please make sure that you go on your knees and you ask God for divine partnerships. Not everyone needs to have access to your vision and to what you are building. Because there's what they call the devourers, and they will come. If you cannot discern, they will come, and their intention is to steal, kill, destroy, manipulate, shatter to pieces what you're doing. And before you know it, you quit the transformation process and you get out. That's why you have to pray for divine partnerships, because there has to be accountability, there has to be participation. You cannot do this on your own. You see, this transformation process is to what end? Development of leadership, continuity of what you're doing, preservation, and then passing it on even when you're long gone, building beyond you. The widow did not pour alone. Her sons participated in the process. They carried the vessels, they witnessed the miracle, they became part of the continuity of what God was establishing behind closed doors. So why wouldn't they be responsible enough, knowing exactly what they went through when they were carrying out this, doing the work, whatever it is that you're doing. And this is what transformation teaches us, that it's not just about personal healing, but it is preparation for continuity, preparation for stewardship, preparation for multiplication and preservation. When you know what, when God is sending us out, He doesn't send us out individually, two by two. And you see, when God sends people into your lives, He doesn't send them to replace your responsibility. No, but to walk with you through the process of building capacity, to sustain alignment. You cannot sustain alignment in isolation. You need someone to tell you, I think, eh, eh. Then you discuss, you carry the burdens together. But you have to ask and test the spirit by its fruit. In this case, those were her children. So she was in the leadership position to show them, train them up in the way that they should go. You see, this lesson emphasizes discernment in relationships and partnerships. And that's what we're focusing on today. We are focusing on partnerships and relationships and the discernment of the two. Not every connection deserves access into what you're building. While God is sending accountability partners and divine helpers, the enemy is also sending distractions. He's sending confusion. He's sending counterfeit alignments. This is why discernment, and prayer, and humility, by the way, to be able to hear. Because sometimes you may defend, hey, until you are beaten, then you will understand. Most of you can relate, because most of you, that has been your challenge. The betrayals, that you've experienced. And you see, maturity is very necessary while you are building. So it's important for you to discern the relationships and the partnerships that you're getting yourself into. Don't just put your signature anywhere. If you've made these mistakes, we are now learning from them. Why would you be a guarantor for somebody when you're not so sure about yourself as well? You see, the widow first obeyed. She first obeyed the prophet because his instruction was only confirming something she had already carried within her spirit. She knew. She had a knowing. So because by the time she went to him, she had a knowing. Like, before I give these sons in to these creditors, let me first ask them. But she had a knowing, but she just wanted to confirm from someone above her. So she sought advice. That is mentorship, apprenticeship. Are you seeing? She went to somebody above her. So not even as she's leading the two boys, she is also in alignment. That's why the headship structure can never go away. For example, in marriage, there's a husband, there's a wife, and their children. That's a headship structure that you cannot remove. And if you do not follow the headship structure, whether you're married or not, you're going to get married one day. You must have an authority above you. That is what covers your head, like the cover that I'm having on today. What covers your head is the head, who also has an authority above him. So every time you are out of that alignment of the headship structure, don't expect to hear from God. This may be out of line, but it's also very important for you to understand when I talk about alignment. It's not only in work, but alignment in relationships, alignment in marriage, emotionally, physically, spiritually, mentally, every area of your life, financially, has to be aligned. So when she went to the prophet Elisha for instruction, it only confirmed what she already carried. And you see, guidance does not manipulate or control. I want you to learn this. Mia, you're very welcome. Good afternoon. Good to see you. Good. It's okay. Don't worry. I'm joining. I'm still describing the topic. Okay? I want you to learn one thing. Guidance does not manipulate. If you receive guidance that does not add value and only manipulates or controls you, please sign out. Divine guidance is not supposed to manipulate or control. It only confirms, clarifies, and strengthens what already exists. Because you see, you're unique on your own. We all have our individual uniqueness. So don't allow anybody who takes you out of alignment, out of your uniqueness. If you sense any manipulation or control, please sign out. It's wrong. Any mentorship, any guidance is only supposed to confirm, it's only supposed to clarify and strengthen what God is already awakening in you. Because you must be going through an awakening to come to a mentorship platform. And we're not here to just give you information, no. Guide you while you create your roadmap and you build it. So you also see what works for you and what doesn't work for you. Are we together? It's very, very important for you to understand the importance of divine partnerships. You see, when you're in a divine partnership or relationship, and it doesn't have to be only marriage, this destiny that you're building, it requires participation. growth requires accountability. Because how will you know whether you're growing? You can't assess yourself sometimes. Maybe when you're carrying out these reflection sessions, okay, you can ask these questions, but you need accountability partners. And when it comes to transformation, it requires community. As you can see, we come here and I ask, Kezi, where is your other half? But other half, I mean your accountability partner, Mia. And she goes and collects. Then I say, Kezi, go and send Brenda a message. I'm not seeing her here. Because transformation requires community, cannot be in isolation. And legacy requires continuity. Yeah, Mia, my God. Eh, where is your God? Hmm? Legacy requires continuity. How do you ensure continuity? That's why you see those two boys there. They are with their mother. They are learning. They are learning. She's pouring the oil. They are bringing the vessels. You know what exactly is going on there. So that even when she's gone, they know exactly how to also pass on, also teach, also do the same. Oil flows where there is alignment. Oil flows where alignment, obedience, and partnership exists. When there is no partnership, there is no flow. The oil has to flow. That oil inside you, that boiling tank inside you. When there's partnership, it flows. When there's obedience, it flows. When there's alignment, it flows. So when I talk about the headship structure, for example, in marriage, the oil will flow when the headship structure is followed. And it will not flow if it's not followed. There will be some stagnation here and there. Because transformation cannot be sustained alone. So, when I say transformation cannot be sustained alone, what do I mean? You see, many people want healing, purpose, leadership, influence, growth. But who are you building with? Are you building alone? Because that isolation is going to just weaken your discernment. And before you know it, your growth is delayed and all your vulnerabilities are going to just increase because you don't have anybody that you, and that's the community. Even when you leave this community, I want to learn how to embrace the communities where you work. Go back to work. When you go back to work, however nagging some situations may be, you'll remember you have a goal. The widow had two sons. They participated in the process. She wasn't alone. They first went out, collected the vessels that was already community. Then the instruction was to go in, shut that door. They carried the vessels, she poured the oil. Each person had a role. And you see, in leadership, stewardship, and personal transformation, you need accountability, you need wise counsel, you need community, you need alignment, you need trusted partnerships. You see that vision? Can you, does any of you here have a vision? First, before I even go on, do you have a vision? Hmm? Do you have a vision? Mm. Answer. It is okay not to have, and then we can start from there. Do we have a vision? Hmm? I'm waiting to hear. Do we have a vision? Hmm? Yes. Juliet, are you saying yes, you do? You have a vision? Who else? Mia, do you have a vision? Because it's coming here and we discuss. Do you have a vision? At least we need to create vision boards where we just have a sketchy, a skeleton one. Then we keep improving it as we go on with our classes. I may keep talking about transformation cannot. I have a vision of becoming a rich woman. Juliet, that's a nice one. Okay. Mia, vision. Sim, vision. Kezi, vision. Mia has a vision. Brenda, because you're laughing at Juliet. She seriously has a vision of becoming a rich woman. And she's going to become a rich woman, you wait, you hear her she keeps saying she's with her customers. Hmm? Grace, do you have a vision? Because it doesn't help for you to have to carry out this transformation when you don't have a vision. Hmm? I can't keep singing that in leadership you need accountability over what? You have a vision. Sim, good. Grace, you have a vision. You don't need to share the. I just want to know, do you have a vision? Because at the end of the day, the accountability partners that you're choosing, there must be a shared vision or shared values or shared goals. You don't just have anybody as your accountability partner when the vision is not shared. Someone may be thinking about something else, you're thinking about something else, but that's your accountability partner. You must have shared something shared, either shared goals, a shared vision. Like you're both looking at going somewhere. Good. Thank you, all of you. Oh, Hajara, good to see you. I've not seen you. Brenda, I've not had your vision. Okay, now at least most of you have accepted you have a vision. So if you have a vision in leadership, in stewardship, and in your personal transformation, you need to have accountability, you need to have wise counsel, you need to have community, you need to have alignment, you need to have trusted partnerships, and that shared vision. See, when Jesus was sending them two by two, two by two, two by two. Why? Because growth and spiritual warfare require support. You cannot do these things of spiritual warfare alone. You need partnerships. You need community. You need an accountability partner. More than one vision? It's one vision. You can have a mission, then you can have activities and tasks, but it has to be one vision. So for you to be organized, otherwise, if you have two visions, you're going to be a bit disorganized. Don't you think so? Or don't you think it will disorganize you? Hmm? So, as you can see, transformation cannot be sustained alone. Okay? You see that pawn there in the picture? Does a chessboard have only one item on it? No. A chessboard has pawns, kings, queens, horses. They are called knights, whatever. Did I call them horses? But I see the picture is of a horse. So anyway, it's a knight. But you see the chessboard. Now you can't stand on your own. You cannot sustain destiny alone. There has to be accountability, wise counsel, community, and all that I'm talking about. So this when we talk about divine instructions, you're going to start receiving divine instructions now that you have a vision, now that you know where you're going, now that you know who you are, now that you're on this transformation journey. Yeah, you see, the widow went to Elisha for instructions. You get on your knees and you get instructions. You come here, we talk about things. I don't give you instructions, but you receive your revelations as we go on. Yeah, he was not creating purpose inside her. No, he was helping her to uncover what already existed within her. So when you come to this class, there's something that's already existent in you. But what I do is to revitalize, bring to life that which is already in you, which is a potential, needs to be uncovered and then comes to life. That's how divine instruction works. Okay? When we talk about mentorship and leadership, we're not creating dependence. No. I think Juliet is who keeps talking about independence. Okay? What we do here in mentorship and leadership is to awaken clarity, is to enable you to build a structure around all areas of your life. Like you talk about finances, then you talk about mental, then you talk about emotional, then you talk about your relationships. You're building structures. And what I'm doing is awakening clarity, is giving you direction and ensure that you are responsible. You take action for what we are talking about. You come back the next day, you start talking about yesterday, this is what happened, this is what happened. That is accountability, responsibility, because now you're very intentional. Sometimes, or there are times in life where you already know what must change. But sometimes you just need someone to help you, awaken it in you, or walk with you, or remind you. That's why you're like, midday 15, let me go to class. Not because you paid school fees, now you don't want to miss out on the class. No. But because personally, there's something that you're doing in you, and you're seeing a difference and an impact on a daily. You already know what God is confronting in you. You already know what requires healing, but you just need clarity and direction. And as we discuss, you now receive some revelations. There are things that I mentioned, and you're like, things are brought to remembrance. You already know what requires discipline. Like we've discussed, a recap of last week's assignment. Now you know what requires discipline. You don't just give money to anybody. Now you know how to organize your finances. Every time your money is idle, you're going to find yourself giving it out instead of planning. Now you know what to do. You need to start planning. It's a discipline. You already know what assignment is pulling on your heart. And when you receive the right instruction, the right guidance, the right direction in the right atmosphere, environment, or community, you'll find yourself organized. Because what this guidance does, it just simply organizes what was already stirring in you. You already know what to do. And what I give here is clarity. I reawaken that which is a bit dormant. Or sometimes you may think, is it really, you start questioning. So what protects the process? Accountability is what is going to protect this process. I insist on accountability because you can see there are two. You can see there are two. So I insist on accountability. It protects the process. You can note those points down for your own follow-up. When I say accountability protects the process, the widow's sons, they were not just spectators. No, they were participants. Those were her accountability partners, and she was their accountability partner, and probably they were each other's accountability partners. That transformation that you're going through, it must be witnessed. Where two or more are gathered, he is amidst them. It must be witnessed, it must be supported and protected through accountability. You see, let me tell you something. When people walk alone, they hide patterns, they avoid correction, they repeat cycles privately, There's no grounding. There's lack of grounding. They become emotionally unstable. Because why? They are walking alone. But every time there's accountability, Mia, where are you? Brenda, where are you? Casey, where are you? Grace, where are you? Juliet, where are you? Sim, where are you? Hajara, where are you? You'll realize that stability will start forming. You'll start reflecting, last week, the other week, that now you see a difference with me now. And you'll even start encouraging each other. And then you will be able to protect what you're building no matter what. You need that kind of environment where there's protection of what you're building. Okay? Accountability provides structure. Because you're not going to carry out accountability of what you're doing when the roles are not clear, the vision is not clear, what are we set out to do, what is the purpose, how are we doing on our vision board, okay, how is your roadmap, how is it going, what are the challenges. All this is structure, and all this is ensuring continuity. And it must be healthy accountability. Like I said, any guidance that has something to do with control and manipulation, run for your life. Healthy accountability is not control, it is alignment. It is alignment. And that's why we need to have discernment in relationships. When there is lack of discernment in our relationships, we are bound to suffer. We are bound to suffer. There has to be discernment. Not every person is assigned to you, to your life, or is sent by God. You have to be able to discern. Some people come to distract, some people come to delay, some people come to manipulate, some people come to drain, some people come to confuse, some people come to compete. I don't know if you've experienced this. And some people actually pull you away from purpose. And the way they pull you away, the subtle way in which people pull you away from purpose, it is very subtle that you may not even realize that it's actually happening. That's why discernment matters very deeply during this transformation process. And as you prepare for these destiny helpers, mentors, accountability partners, the builders, you must ask God for wisdom to recognize healthy connections and maintain them and honor them and respect them. Healthy connections. But you see, even the people who are healthy are not going to be attracted to you when there's nothing you're doing about yourself. That's why we go through this alignment. God will give you wisdom to recognize counterfeit relationships. You will know that, and then you run for your life. It will help you to recognize misaligned environments, those draining partnerships, whether spiritually, by the way, or even financially. They are partnerships that are draining. You need to understand that transformation attracts both positive and negative. People who are here to support you and people who are here to oppose you. So that must be very clearly understood. So when you look at these two, the picture of the lady and the two sons, legacy is built in participation. Participation. The lady was participating, the children were also participating. The sons were witnessing the process. very clearly, step by step, what is happening. God was not just solving a crisis, He was establishing continuity. He was establishing sustainability of the solution. You see what you're doing here is you're developing a solution. But what I'm teaching you here is for you not to labor in vain, for you not to develop a solution only to leave it behind. No continuity, no preservation, no sustainability, no growth, no evolving, just sleep. And then it's done. It also dies with you. You're buried with your solution. No. The next generation needs to see obedience. You're the one who is modeling it out. You're the one who is patterning out obedience. The next generation needs to see stewardship. How are you stewarding the assignment, the roles and the responsibilities that are placed in your hands? So that even when they rediscover who they are, what is their contribution? Let's say in the family business. And they will watch what you do. The next generation needs to see your faith. There are times when not everything is going to be solved with money, but faith. Prayed and you were patient. It was a very, very straining situation, but it is your faith that saw you through. Those are things you cannot just talk about. They must be experiential. They need to see discipline every day. Mommy, daddy, auntie, what makes up she does this. It's seen experientially, practically. So when you start these disciplines, remember someone is watching. The next generation needs to see structure, not disorganization. That they need to see the flow of provision. How are they apportioning the funds? How are they providing for this project? How are they carrying out distributions? They have to see the provision. Where is it coming from? How is it equally distributed? How is it maintained? When do we give? And the most important thing is the dependence on God, not self-reliance. Leadership is not simply about surviving personally. No, it's about building systems. It's about building those, having values, the wisdom, and the structures that are going to outlive you. Because this is building beyond you. You first build inwardly, then you go out and build. But you must be able to have systems, values, the wisdom that you're going to be able to pass on, the structures that are going to outlive you, so that you don't leave a disorganized legacy. Now that you've understood very clearly, please don't say you've not understood. Please, 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 please. Otherwise, we shall sleep in this class. Okay? So, I want us to go to the reflection questions. Because you see, I saved you the burden of having to interfere with your concentration. Everybody can see very clearly the reflection questions. Who are the people currently helping you carry vessels in your life? Who are those people? For example, if you have a mentor who corrects you honestly, like Jacinta wakes up here and corrects you, even when it feels bitter, even when it's hard. Sometimes you come to class and say, this class is hard. Yes. What about an accountability partner? Are they objective when they're giving you feedback? Those friends that you have, do they encourage your discipline or they support your vices? Then you know that you're on a road of destruction. For example, if you have a business partner, are they helping you to ensure that you are pursuing the vision that you set out? Structuring it, following through. Where are we? What vision did we set out? What are the goals, the activities? Where are we? For example, if it's a community like this one, is it keeping you grounded? The attendance shows that the community is keeping you grounded. If someone asks you what is your eulogy, eulogy, okay, what did you answer? Ajahn, what did you answer? So when I ask who are the people currently helping you to carry vessels in your life, are you isolating and trying to do everything alone, or you have the people? That one is very crucial. So question 2, are your current relationships strengthening your transformation or weakening it? Are your current relationships strengthening your transformation or are they weakening it? For example, there are some relationships that push you toward growth. There are some relationships that push you toward responsibility. There are some relationships that actually bring healing, whereas some constantly pull you back to old patterns, emotional instability, distraction, gossip, comparison, compromise. Question is, which environments are influencing you the most? This is where you carry out an assessment. And then you become very intentional with your decision. That, I'm on a transformation journey. You know what? Gossip, comparison, compromise, distractions, emotional instability, old patterns. Bye. See you in another life. I am now on a journey of healing. I'm now on a journey of taking responsibility for my actions, my words, because I want to see a better me. I'm growing. So, what are your current relationships strengthening? Your transformation or your dis-transformation, if that word exists? Which environments influence you the most? That's the one thing you need to ask yourself and be very honest with yourself. Adia, you say, and it's what you're teaching us today about legacy. See, person knows prophetically, you know. I know I'm a bit ahead of you when it comes to what I'm teaching you, but like I said the last time on Friday, it may not apply now, but I need you to have a view. That is what they call vision. That's why the first thing I asked you or earlier, do you have a vision? Because you see, you remember when I told you, do not limit God. When you have a vision in view, even when you are building, you're not going to build with a small mindset. Because now you have a vision in view, you know exactly where you want to go, you're focusing on legacy. So your mindset is not going to be limited even as you're building. You're going to be building for even way more. You don't have it right now, you can't even imagine it, but you are thinking beyond and not allowing yourself to limit God and limit yourself. Because what you ask for is what you get. Simple as that. So what is that instruction that you've received internally, but you're disobeying? Because I'm sure you now know your boundaries. We'll be going through these classes. You already know you need boundaries. You need discipline. You need healing. You need to leave that toxic environment. Some of you, congratulations, left the toxic environments. So pat yourself on the back. That was the first step that you took. Because you don't want to have delayed obedience. So you got out of that toxic environment, meaning you already started your journey of healing with the intentional disciplines you're carrying out on a daily. But you also already know that you need consistency. And you need to build the vision that God gave you yourself. You have to build it. You have to create the roadmap. You have to follow through. So, what is that instruction? You already received internally, but you have delayed obeying. What is keeping you from obeying? Fear, obedience, distraction, peer pressure, people pleasing, trying to fit in so you don't want to make other people uncomfortable. Someone once told me, the problem with you is you're making us, it's like as if you're making us walk on eggshells. You're too sensitive. But at that particular time, I was not knowledgeable about the fact that, okay, this one is not. We don't share the same goals. But what I did is I compromised. And that's what I want you to understand. When you have a very clear understanding of who you are and your goals and your vision and where you're headed, and you're hearing very well the instructions that God is giving you, you will know when not to compromise. You will know what not to compromise, especially when it comes to partnerships, relationships, accountability partners. So, question 4, what patterns keep repeating because you avoid accountability? What are those patterns that keep repeating because you avoid accountability? For example, do you repeatedly return to unhealthy relationships? You open that door, then you close it. Then before you know it, you're opening the door, the same kind of person or the spirit behind that person, and you've seen it. Sometimes even the Holy Spirit has communicated to you in a different form, different person, same spirit that is pursuing you, a Delilah, a Jezebel, a Haman, a Judas. You need to be able to discern what threatens your anointing, what threatens your calling, what threatens your mandate, so that you don't return to those unhealthy relationships. And this comes when you do not have accountability partners to say, ah, because then they'll pick on it immediately. I may only be your mentor, but you need an accountability partner to enable you not to start without finishing, but to help you push you. When you know you're the counterfeit, they don't even push you to finish because we're supposed to push each other. What are those patterns that keep repeating? Do you avoid responsibility? Do you find yourself being defensive, becoming emotionally reactive, ignoring correction? Or when you are challenged or given correction, you withdraw. And when you start doing cocoons, you start slandering the person. And the person was actually sent to correct you. Because before judgment is correction. God will always correct you. When judgment is passed in that particular area and correction has come so many times, the person, God sends one person, they correct you, they correct you, they correct you, they correct you, they cor- time comes when the correctors, the door is closed because you took it for granted. So he withdraws his grace in that area. You're not covered, you're not protected. You need to ask yourself what would change if someone walked closely with you through the process. You need to have someone that you work with closely in this process. Do not walk alone. I repeat it. Do not walk alone. You can't. This body is different. You can't do it on your own. There are different body parts. You're not self-reliant. You're not all-knowing. Mm-mm. You're not good. So you need an accountability partner. Question 5, what legacy are you building through your transformation journey? If you ask yourself these questions now, then it will be easier for you to, even if you don't have the ultimate answer, but you ask yourself, even as you are building, what legacy am I building? For example, are you healing? Okay, I'm trying to think about your healing. You see, you're going through healing. Because the questions are there on the screen. What legacy are you building through your transformation journey? Hmm? Guys, when you ask me, pardon, please be specific on what you want me to repeat, so that I can understand where exactly you have not understood. So when I say, what legacy are you building through your transformation journey? Your healing, for example, is not only about you. The reason as to why you went through that challenge is so that you can get lessons from it, heal from it, and also go out and be compassionate enough to help somebody else to come out of the same hole that you were in. That's why some of these challenges come to us, even to an extent of developing solutions to that problem. Solutions that could even become products that you put on sale or services. It doesn't have to be transactional all the time. Your discipline may teach your children stability. Your business may be one that restores so many families. Imagine if you have like a restaurant and people who come to your restaurant, whenever they come there, because of the atmosphere that you created in that space, they receive healing, they feel comfortable. Whenever we come here, I don't know. It's the atmosphere. Some of you are atmosphere shifters, but you don't even know. Do you know that some people come with atmospheres that are so negative when they come in a place? Ay, Jesus. And it takes discernment to actually notice that this one carries a very horrible atmosphere. Sometimes you need to pray for people. Someone may come with a burden, but when they come in your environment, they receive healing. What atmosphere do you carry? What legacy are you building? There are homes you go to, and there's peace. And there are homes you go to, and there's chaos. And there are homes that have peace as watching a cartoon. Those cartoons that are on YouTube lately. Not cartoons, but like those animated movies, short movies of 23 minutes and all. And the lady said, my house is a house of peace. She was warning the person who's coming in. You see, now those are the things that we probably were careless about. You had peace, joy, happiness, then you opened your doors to, before you know it, your home became the chaos of the day. And the lady was like, my home is a home of peace. If you have chaos, endurance. I was watching and I said, hey, girl was called endurance. Don't bring here chaos in my home. Because peace is something that is priceless. You can't put a price tag on it. So for you, what are you building? What is your legacy? You need to be able to answer those questions. Your emotional healing may stop generational cycles. Don't think that your healing in these areas is for nothing. That's legacy, girl. Your obedience may become someone else's survival. Someone may watch you and, oh. So you need to ask yourself, what future is being shaped through my current process? It's not for nothing. We have to have purpose behind everything that we do. We are not going to just sail through fwa. We are going to be very intentional. What legacy am I building through my transformation process? What do I want to leave behind? What impact do I want to leave behind? And whatever we do, I'm not doing it for the applause of people. No. Any questions before I go to the how to steps? Any questions before I go to the how to steps? Where are we? Where are we? Where are we? We seem quiet. Is the lesson hot as well today? Hmm? Where are we before we go to the how to steps? Hmm? Grace, what is happening? Brenda, Mia, say something before I go to the how to steps. I need to know that you're there. Are we there? Are we following? See, Hajar. Hmm? Hey guys, why are you quiet? Hmm? Casey, what is happening? Why are we quiet? Hmm? You're there. Okay. And you're quiet. I need some energy also. I don't want to just speak, 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 speak. I need to know that we are together. You have no question. What is going on? Is it helping? Hmm? Okay. So let's go to the how to steps. I hope it's clear. I hope it's helping. Okay. I hope it's helping. Okay. Now, the first step is to identify your current vessels. Write down. You're so challenged. You're reflecting. Ah, okay. No, you're not challenged. What I'm doing is I am guiding. I don't want you to. I don't want you to. I don't want you to just build or go through this transformation. I want you to see the end in view as you build. Okay. I want you to see the end in view. But please, 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 guys, the transformation process that I gave you from encounters to purpose. I'm sure you all have a copy. Please, 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 it's important for you to note that to go through like your daily, make sure that you uncover anything that needs to be uncovered from the encounters you're having daily and do exactly as the process because this is what where this is going to help you. Okay, so when I say identify your current vessels, you need to know first of all who are the people who are helping you to grow. What are those environments that are sharpening you? You need to be in the right environments. Those are your current vessels, by the way. Your relationships, your divine helpers, the communities where you are, networking. How are these lessons refining you? What are those systems that are supporting your transformation? You need to identify your current vessels. Recognize those vessels that God has already surrounded you with. You don't have to look so much further. They may actually just be there, right there with you, but you may be minimizing them. Look right around you. You will see the people who are helping you to grow. You will see your environment for what it is. What are those encounters that you're having with that environment? What am I learning from this particular job? What am I learning from this business or from this trip or from, each and every encounter should matter. What are the lessons? How are they refining me? What is changing in me? What are those systems that are supporting this transformation? Because those same systems are the ones that you're actually going to use, because everybody has their own unique systems that they're developing in their transformation process, because we all receive instructions uniquely and individually. So as you receive the instructions, you are creating the structures and the systems. Oh, thank you, Brenda. I'm glad that you're listening. Okay. So step two, after you have identified your current vessels, evaluate your connections honestly. Evaluate your connections very, very honestly. Who strengthens your purpose matters. You need to ask yourself, who is strengthening my purpose? Don't put your energies where they are just weakening your purpose. Remove your energies. Ask yourself, who is draining my focus? It may not even be just a who, but what, which, where. What is it that is draining your focus? Who is sharpening your discernment? Or who is draining it? Who is keeping you stuck emotionally? See, every time you become real with some of these things, you will move forward. I have seen someone transform in 4 months. I met this mentee in December, and I've seen the transformation, guys. January, February, March, April. Because she's very, very intentional about this transformation. I'm actually now only, yes, how can I help you? Like we are done. But it's because she was very intentional. Very, very intentional. You don't joke with God when He decides to redeem the time and gives you divine speed. I've seen divine speed and I'm like, I am the mentor, but this divine speed. And then, of course, now I'm partaking of the graces. Are you now understanding how this works? The mentee is becoming the mentor. Because the divine accident, you're like, was this the person that I met who was like this? But when the person made a decision, the aggression, so you need to know what keeps you stuck emotionally. That's why I told you I like this environment. It's a very fast-paced environment. Even when they are calling you for their money, this, that, so there's no dosing, there's no, it's, so you become very intentional even with your decisions, your actions, the company you keep, your focus, your purpose. because you want to move forward. And it's not just about speed, no, but it's about intentionality. I'll just give you one example. And God only knows why they have speed in everything that they are doing. So evaluate your connections honestly. Who carries wisdom and who is encouraging compromise? Come when there are five fools and you're the sixth, when there are five wise ones, you're the sixth. So you need to know what you are allowing. Not every connection should continue into your next season. Be very intentional about this and very, very practical. If you're not, three, build healthy accountability. Find people who correct you with wisdom, not who criticize you negatively and leave you hanging. Avoid NPDs who just suck on your energy. People who correct with wisdom. Let us be very crystal clear about it. That is healthy accountability. Who protect your growth, who challenge your excuses. Who encourage your consistency. Where are you? Where are you? Who carry integrity. Leave alone these slander campaigns that go on about people. And you genuinely know that this person is not like this. You have to test the spirit by its fruit. The people who come to you with gossip, what is their fruit? Also, you learn to grow up and discern for yourself what they are telling you. Someone may take you away from a serious divine relationship, but because you have itching ears, and the person was pouring into you, then wow, you are not creating dependency. No, but don't miss out on graces. God may have intentionally sent you this person in your feed. But in your feed, there's also another counterfeit who is assigned to devalue this person. Sure, you have other people that you listen to. But what is the slander that's going on behind them? Ask God for yourself. What is behind this person? God will show you. You ask, He will show you. Without a doubt. That's the only thing you can do. Otherwise, if you go with naysayers when somebody has a message for you and you just ignore them because people said, get out of that majority crap and build healthy accountability with people who carry integrity, who reflect maturity, whether relationally, mentally, spiritually, financially, they reflect maturity. And you know what? Transformation requires honest mirrors. If the Hajara, just log off and log on again. Sorry about that. Let me tell you something about honest mirrors. There are people who like displaying like they are. Jesus called them whitewashed tombs. Avoid those ones. There is no there is no one who has built legacy and doesn't have a little bit of messes behind them or failure behind them. then you know you're dealing with the chameleon. You'll be very careful. Look at all those men in the Bible. Moses killed a person. David was an adulterer. Look at all of them. Even in today's, whatever, people like slandering. Who is perfect? Watch out for anyone that wants to be mirrored in perfection. Please, who was cast down from heaven? Why? Because he felt like he was perfect. Oh, no one is perfect. You need to learn from people who have gone through obstacles. Actually, for me, I like listening to people who have gone through hard times and they have overcome. Yesterday, I was in the fellowship church, and we're talking about, we were with some people, and people are giving their experiences. People have gone through hard things, and you're like, hmm? You're like, hmm? You're like, hmm? You think you've gone through things, and they show you that I overcame, and now I am here, and now that is what we're talking about. Progression. Those are the healthy relationships. Anybody who wants to show you a perfect journey that does not have these valleys and hills, run for your life, because there's no fruit. Even a seed is first buried in the ground, then it germinates, then it grows, then fruit comes on the tree. But someone wants to come and show you that, for me, for me, you see, for me, for me, you see. That's a road to destruction. Test the spirit by its fruits. What are their scars? What are the receipts? What are you seeing right now? What is the story today? What have they been able to overcome? Those are the healthy relationships you should be with. Because those are the people who are going to challenge your excuses. I mean, they've been there before. Those are the people who are going to protect your growth. Those are the people who are going to correct you with wisdom. Those are the people who are going to encourage your consistency. Don't whitewashed tombs. For me, that is the only thing I can tell you. Don't mirror someone who has scars, overcome, results. That is what we want to see. And it has to be fruit. Authenticity. Yes, they want to take God's place. Authenticity. And when you learn to embrace who you are and learn to embrace other people's strengths and beauty, my goodness, you will develop the right relationships. Because you will embrace everybody in their uniqueness. You will quit comparing. You will push someone because they're also pushing you. Because why are you lost? When we are talking about a very serious topic here. 4, participate actively in your own process. The sons carried the vessels. The widow poured the oil. Everyone participated. Do not wait passively for change. Engage. I keep saying step into those unknown spaces. Learn, reflect, apply, build, heal, practice discipline, and develop structure. When you heal without participation, you're going to be dependent on the person who healed you. Wrong. Wrong structure. Wrong. It is wrong for me to come and help you, guide you, and then you have to depend on me. No, it is wrong. You need to build your own structure. Because also God has given you unique giftings, unique talents, a mind, wisdom, understanding. We are not the same. But go and ask for discernment. Go and ask for wisdom. Go and ask for strategy. Go and ask for instructions. Then come back and we sit here and discuss. Kezi, what's the update? Yesterday I was in it, I did this, I did that, I did it. Okay. I think now we are talking healthy accountability. But we're also talking about engaging. Step 5, think beyond survival. Please ask yourself, what am I building? What will remain after me? What cycles am I breaking? What systems am I creating? And what wisdom am I preserving? When you ask yourself those questions, you get out of that survival mode. This transformation of yours can become so powerful if it produces continuity, visible continuity. What am I building? Let it be visible, not just words. When I leave, what happens? What remains after me? Are there any cycles that you have broken? Or you just know that the cycles exist and you've not broken them? That's why participation is important. You must break some cycles with intentional disciplines, behavior, and say, no, I will not go with you to my next season. Leave me alone. You have to fight. What systems are you creating? Because what happens is, this is survival. These are systems you're building. Systems beat this survival. Because now you're very practical and very structural. Okay? So, I would like to conclude. I know lesson 9 has been also a bit tough because now we are talking about legacy. But you see, like I said in the beginning, transformation is not an isolated journey. Behind those closed doors where the widow and the 2 sons were, God was building partnerships, accountability, participation, and legacy. And that is what is expected of your journey. The widow did not pour alone. Don't pour the oil alone. Her sons carried the vessels, they participated in the miracle, they became witnesses. Whatever was happening privately. So even when you die, someone participated. You see, lesson 9 is going to teach you obedience. Okay? Lesson 9 is going to teach you obedience, discernment, community, accountability, participation, continuity. That oil was not only about provision. I need provision to pay the debt, provision. No, it was about preservation. She was actually setting for us systems for preservation, because now we're using her lesson. It may be just 7 verses of a chapter, but you see, preservation. We are learning multiplication. We are learning generational impact from 7 verses. So, what is your action today? which you're going to carry out. It may be today, but it is also like for a week. I want you to identify the people carrying vessels alongside you. Please identify the people who are carrying vessels alongside you. What are those relationships that are strengthening you or weakening your growth? You need to be honest with yourself. When you're honest with yourself, you will move forward very fast. If you are not honest with yourself, you're going to have your growth compromised. You're going to have your transformation process with dents. Please identify relationships that are strengthening or weakening your growth, the instructions that you already know you need to obey. Number 5. Okay. Number 5. What was number 5? Oh, it's not, it's there. Okay. I think now you can see it very well. Number 5 is think beyond survival. Number 5 was think beyond survival. And that was where I said, ask yourself, what are you building? What will remain after you? What cycles are you breaking? You need to note them. Because those cycles that you're breaking, you don't want to see them repeating in the people after you. Okay? What systems are you creating? What wisdom are you preserving? Okay? We want continuity, and that is the fruit of a powerful transformation. Okay? Number 5 is there. Have you seen it, guys? It's there now. Are you seeing it? Are you seeing it now? You've seen it? Think beyond survival. Okay? That's number 5. Okay, so like I said, this lesson was all about alignment. Alignment. Legacy is about alignment. As long as you're obedient, you can discern, you keep in community, the right community, you keep being accountable to each other. Okay? Participate. Okay? And continue. And I also said, I need you to carry out this assignment. Let's go back to the assignment page. Please carry out this assignment. I want you to identify in those areas, as I have highlighted, the people that are carrying vessels alongside you, the relationships that are strengthening or weakening your growth, the instructions you already know you need to obey. You have received instructions, just obey, however hard it may be. And the legacy that your transformation process is building. And one last question I want to ask you to ask yourself, are you building alone or are you allowing God to establish the right partnerships for the assignment attached to your life? Are you building alone or are you allowing God to establish the right partnerships for the assignment attached to your life? So that's it, guys. I want to sign out. Okay. Thank you very much for your attendance. And I guess we have benefited from the class. And I would like to say shalom, shalom. Be fruitful, multiply, replenish, subdue, take dominion. In the areas where but guys, you liked the whatever. You've not liked the video. You've not liked the video. Can you like at least? Like the video so that other people can find it after. That like button, this one. Honestly, you are building alone. Okay. Now you know. Now you know. Ask God to guide you in your building. You'll find out what you need to do. He'll guide you. The beginning may be alone, yeah, but you'll find an accountability partner the moment you ask. You see what happens is we don't ask. Now you know. You may not have known, but ask. Tell God, I do not want to build alone. Please give me an accountability partner. And it doesn't have to be a husband. But ask God to give you an accountability partner. He will give you an accountability. Divine helpers. If there's a prayer that I prayed, that was an area that I prayed for. I have to pray for that particular divine helper who will understand, even when they're carrying out smear campaigns on you, they'll understand that it's not a person. Because he's always laughing. Okay, guys. So I beg to leave. I hope it added value to you, and I hope you are going to apply. Please do apply. Don't forget, it's important for you to apply. Okay? Okay. Have a very beautiful day. Okay? Bye, guys.